Sin is the latest DLC character for Guilty Gear Strive, and is widely seen as the worst character in the game. Bedman is going to be coming out soon, and just as before, there's probably going to be some rebalances to other characters, and I'd be shocked if Sin went completely untouched by it. So, I want to make a video that kind of serves as a time capsule for what Sin was before the release of Bedman? See, I feel like I have to say it that way because there's a question mark. Bedman? Bedman? I don't know. Moving on. Sin is the ever-growing wild boy, a rushdown character who focuses on conditioning the opponent into being afraid to press buttons because of the stagger pressure he gets from his follow-up mechanic. However, the other side of that coin is that almost all of his mix-ups are reactable and requires conditioning the opponent heavily to avoid them calling him out on his fake pressure. Gee, I wonder where we've heard that before. One of Sin's greatest strengths is Kara canceling into his super for big damage and really reliable wall breaks. You can do it in combos, or you can do it as a hit confirm off of things like Beak Driver. If done well, this can make Sin's mix-up and neutral game pretty scary, as suddenly almost all of his correct guesses have a super packed behind them. This lets him get really high damaging combo enders by ending combos in Elk Hunt Kara RTL, and even without Kara cancels, he has some pretty decent hit confirms into super off of some pretty fast lows like his 2K. But there's just one issue. This isn't just tied to 1 meter, it's tied to 2 meters. The tension meter and the stamina meter. That's an issue because without spending stamina, Sin's neutral just isn't good. All of Sin's special moves have 2 follow-ups, performed by either pressing the button again or by dashing, but doing so costs a bar of stamina. All of his specials are minus on hit without a follow-up, essentially meaning that without spending stamina on every single special move you hit, or conditioning the opponent so hard that they have PTSD flashbacks over getting hit by a super delayed Beak Driver follow-up, you're just giving up your turn. No other character has to make this trade-off between having to spend a very precious resource or just losing a turn. To see exactly what I mean, let's compare Sin's Elk Hunt to Giovanna's Trovao. Trovao is a 27 frame spiral arrow that's +4 on block, and destroys roughly half of all projectiles in the game while active. What this means is that from very far away, Giovanna can get in and start her pressure with 4 frames of advantage. Her close slash has 7 frames of startup, meaning the opponent only has 3 actionable frames before the close slash follow-up connects, meaning the only characters who can challenge Trovao are Chip and Soul, because they're the only characters in the game with a 3-frame normal. Landing close slash also opens up the rest of Giovanna's close range strike throw and stagger pressure gameplay, as she gets incredibly long block strings that she can turn into frame traps with stagger pressure, and she's able to mix in throws that give her Oki to keep repeating the situation. Trovao is an incredibly powerful tool that, while maybe not entirely moveset defining, represents a core pillar of her game plan, and is one of the better neutral skipping moves in the game. Elk Hunt is a 25 frame, low profiling slide that, with follow-up, is +8 on block. It doesn't have the same projectile destroying property as Giovanna's, but still acts as a neutral skip that lets you immediately start your pressure. Here's the issue. It's -8 on block without the follow-up, so it's not even minus but still safe. It's distinctly unsafe enough that most characters are gonna get a full combo or a back throw to put you in the corner if they block it. Which, I mean, it has 25 frames of startup, so if you're doing it from mid-screen, they probably will just block it. At this point, the coping and/or seething Sin player might respond, "But conditioning!" And yes, you can condition the opponent to be too afraid of the follow-up to go for the punish, but notice how Giovanna didn't need to put in that extra work just to start her goddamn pressure. Other resource characters like Happy Chaos or Nagoriyuki have that resource because their special moves are so good that they require some level of mitigating resource in order to remain balanced. Sin's specials aren't that good in the first place, but the game borderline extorts you for your stamina to make his special moves even passable. And this kind of leads into my final point, that being the lack of a solid game plan and his lack of what I've come to call fuck you factor. Guilty Gear Strive is a game of win conditions. What that means is that characters live or die based on their ability to get you into their ideal position and keep you there. Leo wants to get a knockdown and then get into Brunhilde's stance. Potemkin wants to land 2 Potemkin busters. You get the idea. So what is Sin's? I can't really tell you. I know what Geo's is. It's to whiff punish for a hard knockdown and then run stagger pressure and strike throw with plus frames. I know what Kai's is. It's to hit confirm and to ride the lightning to get a mid-screen wall break and get positive bonus. But what is Sin's? Well, the easiest answer is that his win condition is to get the opponent conditioned enough to start consistently guessing wrong on his otherwise reactable high-low mix. But that's not really a win condition. That's a restatement of his biggest weakness as a positive. His win condition is to condition the opponent to not respond properly to his mix-ups because he doesn't have many ways to force errors. So he's a resource character who doesn't have special moves worthy of being restricted by a resource. He's a rushdown character without much in the way of unreactable mix, and as a result of those two things, he lacks a solid win condition due to an over-reliance on conditioning your opponent, which is just a fancier way of saying hoping they make a mistake. So is Sin the worst character in the game? I don't want to presume a level of game knowledge to be able to say for sure. After all, I'm not even a Celestial player yet, but I will say that Sin seems like the most dysfunctional character in the game at the moment, without a functional core to his gameplay. But you can absolutely see the framework of an amazing character. He's like a puzzle that's 2/3 of the way to being finished. If he had just a little bit more love, I feel like he has serious potential to be a really scary character. But we're just going to have to wait until Bedman comes out to see if that potential manifests in the patch notes. That's about all I have to say, so I'm going to call it there. Thank you for watching this far into the video. It took a bit longer to make than I was expecting. If you want to hear me talk about other characters or other games, let me know. But before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Blabbo. Blabbo's a really high-level Sin main who helped me write the script for this video, and you've also been seeing his gameplay throughout. And of course, I can't shout out Blabbo without also shouting out the community we're both in, and that's the Glue Eaters Discord server. The Glue Eaters Discord server is genuinely one of the most friendly and welcoming fighting game discords out there right now, and ever since I joined, matchmaking through the server has been the primary way I've been playing fighting games with other human beings. Mostly because Strive's servers just don't work, but, you know, details. So once again, a special thanks to Blabbo for helping me write this video, and a special shout out to the Glue Eaters Discord for being the best fighting game community Discord out there. Y'all have a good one.